Hi everyone, welcome to Secrets. Before we get into it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you like raw, unfiltered opinions and the kind of truth that makes folks squirm a little. Today, we're diving headfirst into the mess that is Love Island's latest season and the unholy aftermath that Chelly and Olandria have been enduring since it ended. Now, if you haven't been keeping up, buckle in, because this season wasn't just dramatic, it was ugly. Two unambiguously black women, Chelly and Olandria, walked into that villa and did the unthinkable. They were beautiful, desired, and unbothered, and the world lost its mind. From hacked TikToks to public calls for violence to memes comparing them to victims of police brutality, the abuse has been nonstop. Media outlets like BuzzFeed thought it was cheeky to say they'd feed Chelly a knuckle sandwich. Influencers posted themselves beating punching bags while saying their names. And all the while, Love Island kept quiet, making generic posts about cyberbullying while ignoring the direct violence being funneled toward these two women. And here's the kicker. Huda, the chaos gremlin who instigated half of it, is now sitting at over 3 million Instagram followers, while Chelly and Olandria each hover just above 1 million. That's the bitter truth. The least respectable contestant is being rewarded the most. And if you think her followers are fans, think again. Most of them are just hate-watching, propping her up out of spite, not because they love Huda, but because they can't stand Chelly and Olandria. And that's exactly where we're starting today. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the real reason Huda and her fans were so violently unhinged this season. Because I've heard every excuse in the book. Oh, it's because of the drama. They were mean to Huda. They're fake, they're this, they're that. No, sweetie, they're just desirable and Huda isn't. That's the core truth that has everybody spiraling. See, Chelly and Olandria didn't have to crash out. They didn't have to cry for attention. They didn't have to bribe men with sex. They showed up, smiled, and the boys lined up. Chelly had Ace, Austin, Charlie, and even Chris all circling her like moths to a flame. She didn't even need to choose. She had options. She had range. Meanwhile, Huda, who entered the villa with that greasy confidence that only delusion can give you, found herself completely unwanted except by 2 black men. And even then, she wasn't loved. She was tolerated, and she knew it. She had to offer sex like it was a bargain bin discount just to get crumbs of affection. And even that didn't make them choose her, didn't make them cater to her, didn't make them treat her with any kind of reverence. Because when desirability is forced, people smell the desperation. What we saw from Huda wasn't confidence. It was violence and lip gloss. It was manipulation, abuse, and volcanic rage disguised as being real. She terrorized that villa, and she didn't just target her competition. She bulldozed innocent girls like Iris and Amaya, women who literally did nothing to her but exist near her proximity of perceived entitlement. Huda was loud, vulgar, threatening, and explosive. The exact stereotype of the angry baby mama the world loves to dump on black women. And yet, the irony is, Chelly and Olandria are the ones who were treated like stereotypes by the world, when in reality, they were the foils to that image. They were calm, kind, feminine, focused. They brought honor to their families and respect to themselves. But here's the kicker. Huda's fans don't actually like her. I don't believe most of them ever did. Her fan base is made up of rebels, people who don't care about her joy or well-being. They're obsessed with seeing Chelly and Olandria lose. That's what they're fighting for. They want Huda to appear more desirable, more followed, more chosen, because it validates them. It feeds the illusion that the rage-filled, ratchet aesthetic can still win. That bad behavior will still be rewarded if it comes in a racially ambiguous package. Go check her Instagram. You'll see the desperation, people bragging that she has the most followers, tallying digits like it proves something. Meanwhile, Chelly and Olandria, quietly gaining support, brand deals, admiration, respect. Huda had to broadcast a circus to get attention. Chelly and Olandria, they just had to breathe. And now I need to call out the elephant in the room, because this hate, it's not just coming from outside the Black community. Some of y'all Black women need to sit in a corner and interrogate your jealousy. Why are you so pressed? Why are you screaming online about two women who never did a damn thing to you? I'll tell you why. You hate them because they are the version of Black womanhood you gave up on becoming. They are everything you thought you had to sacrifice to survive. They're beautiful, poised, desired, and they didn't have to degrade themselves to get there. Meanwhile, some of y'all are stuck with Dusty Darnell and Bummy Tyrone, raising kids by yourselves, mad that these two women walked into a villa and got men to chase them. You can't attract the same quality, and instead of doing the work to figure out why, you project your failures onto these girls. You are the Samuel L. Jacksons in Django, raccooning your way through social media, running to Masa's page to snitch, harass, and degrade other Black women for daring to have boundaries and be respected. You hate Chelly and Olandria because they represent what you could have been if you hadn't bent to bitterness, brokenness, and a busted sense of identity. You mock their femininity because you traded yours in for survival. You clown their confidence because you lack your own. You hate their options because your phone only rings when a jailbird gets Wi-Fi. You are sick. There is no self-respecting, progressive Black woman who would ever be on that hate train. Ever. Because even if you don't personally vibe with them, you recognize what it takes to maintain composure in a space that's foaming at the mouth to humiliate you. And don't forget, Chelly and Olandria did all that without being messy, without selling out their sisters, without twerking on a countertop for attention. They weren't pick-me's, they weren't passive, they were smart, balanced, and they made grown decisions while being publicly dragged. Meanwhile, Huda, who is a mother, has yet to show 1 ounce of the maturity she should be modeling for her child. She brought shame to herself, disgrace to any woman who's ever advocated for self-respect, and burned every bridge she crossed, sometimes literally throwing gasoline on it first. She was repulsive, not because she's flawed, but because she refuses to grow. She doesn't evolve. She doesn't self-reflect. She blames, attacks, sabotages, and smirks through the damage. And now that the dust has settled and the crown's been handed out, the Huda hive is scrambling for a win. But she has more followers, they scream. More followers than what? Then what exactly? Because in real life, Chelly and Olandria want something more important: the admiration of those who matter, the pride of their families, the peace of knowing they stayed true to themselves. And Huda? All she won was a digital army of hate watchers and trauma twins. The real ones see through it.